Soul desires quenched and freedom frenzy. This is a return to what you want, even in the midst of really big changes and shifts in the energy field. Hey, you guys, welcome. Hello, Glorious Miracles. I'm so glad that you're here. This is your February energy update for energy intuitives, light leaders, sensitives, and awakened awesome ones like you. So I want to welcome you back if you always come for these videos. And if it's your first time here, definitely pop a comment below. Let me know that you're here, say hi. And if you always come around for these videos, say hi too. I want to welcome you. And a little bit about how we do these videos before we get started. I will give you the main energy themes you'll be working with for February. This is my intuitive energy read, sort of like getting the weather forecast for the month. And so you can be on the lookout and ride those waves with the right kind of surfboard. And then towards the end of the video, I'm going to give you tips and takeaways. And you guys always tell me your favorite part is the journal questions. Now, before we get into this month's energy update, I actually have a special announcement. I will be opening the doors to our Divine Light Energy Healers Academy later this month in February. So if you've been wanting to learn how to build a business using energy work and doing the kind of energy work that I do, giving really practical guidance and energy readings, but also helping your clients really create big shifts in their lives and having the tools to do that, then you want to definitely get on the wait list because we're going to open doors towards the end of the month. So you can check that out in the link below. Okay, so we've got a lot to dive into this month. So let's talk about some of the main energy themes for this month that we're going to have. So the first energy is soul desires quenched. And I don't know if you can feel those goosebumps happening in your body, but this is a return of energy that was something that you were really wanting to happen maybe the last 5 years, 3 years, and it just hasn't been happening. Try as you might, it hasn't been coming through. And there's been a lot of blocks and a lot of stalls and a lot of stagnation. So think about right now in this moment, what is your soul desire? Have you been wanting to buy that retreat property? Have you been wanting to be asked as a host to host a retreat or to be a guest speaker at a retreat? Have you been wanting to move? Have you been wanting to have that fulfilling relationship? What is it that your soul has been really desiring? That is finally coming through. And in February, you're going to really start to see the momentum building for that. You're going to see, oh, yes, I see that it's possible. And the energies are going to be pulled through. You'll get surprise opportunities. You'll get interesting invitations. And I'm just really seeing this as an overall up level to your soul getting what it wants. Now, let me back up just a little bit and say that over the last 3 or 4 years, it's been kind of a struggle between what sort of timeline are we all on. And we've done a lot of bouncing around. And recently, I have seen the energy of this really beautiful rose colored fifth dimensional timeline coming through. And you might be feeling this too. And what I'm seeing this as is an anchoring in of that 5D energy, that higher frequency consciousness, and you really building more of what you want in life. You really building that vision that you've had, or maybe you've always had it but didn't exactly know how to implement it, or maybe you never had it but now you do. This is the time where all of that's going to start to commence, even in the midst of some pretty major changes. Now, when I get this vision of this beautiful rose colored fifth dimensional consciousness, what I'm seeing in the energy field is, it's so funny, the images I get. It's a playground, and I see two groups of kids on the playground, and one group of kids is having a really fun time and the other group of kids is not having a fun time at all. And the group of kids that's not having a fun time at all, they're talking about how hard things are and how bad life is. but it's happening all in the same playground. And so, all of that to say that you who are listening to this video right now, I suspect that you are the group of kids that are already anchored up into that fifth dimensional timeline. And that even though you're on the same playground, so to speak, you're having a vastly different experience with life. And so, just know that if that's true for you, that that's okay. And part of your work is to hold the space for the other kids on the playground to understand, like, oh, look, I can just go over there and have a better time. I can have a better go of this. You're holding the energetic space for everyone around you to wake up if they so choose. And the best way you can do that is not by convincing anybody, not by talking anybody into it, but by being a brilliant example of what it means to be awakened and working towards building the new earth. So that's the first energy that you're going to be working with this month. And I see it stretching into the next few months for sure, where you'll just know, yes, I am doing my mission. I'm on purpose. I'm on path, and all of these amazing things that go to fulfill your soul. Now, one thing that's really important to remember is that you have ultimate creatorship here on planet Earth. And the ultimate thing that holds you back is your beliefs. So if you don't believe something's possible for you, then the invitation is for you to go into deep believing that you can have it. And something that I teach in my academy, one of my groups, is that all that the divine wants for somebody else, it wants for you and more. All that the divine has done for somebody else, it will do for you and more. So if you are feeling like, gosh, I don't know if I can have that, or I'm spiritual, I don't know if I can make that much money, or whatever the thought is, or oh, is there really this person out there for me? Just give yourself the packet of energy. All that the divine does for other people, it does for me and more. And see how you feel inside. Okay, next up is the freedom frenzy. And I'm calling it a frenzy because it feels kind of frenetic energy right now of really breaking free from what's been holding you back. And um, I see this as a need to disassociate with that part of you who's been through hell and back and survived it. Okay, let's face it, you have come through so much. Odds are you've made your way through an illness or two and you're still here. Odds are you've made your way through some heartbreaks or two or three or four and you're still here. And odds are that you have come through these last 3 years and it has stripped you down to your very core. And you are at the root of it all. And so it can feel like there's a part of the identity that is identifying as somebody who is able to survive the worst of it, right? And so kind of thinking back to when you were in kindergarten, if you think back right now, would you say that you really identify with being a kindergartner, or in first grade? Would you say that you really identify with that part of you? Most of you are going to say, no, I can't, I don't even think about that person ever, right? It was you at one time, but it's not the same body. It's totally a different consciousness. So as you pull up into 5D consciousness, there is a different version of you, a different identity of you that is trying to be born. And it is an identity version of you that is not founded in trauma, chaos, or ill health. That's part of the program that we're rewriting here on planet Earth right now. We came into this programming of trauma, chaos, ill health, all of that nonsense. And we're actually seeing now that you can rewrite that program and that ultimately it's up to you to do the work. So, just like anything, if you want a new experience in the world, you actually have to create a new identity. I used to be a smoker. My identity as a smoker was I always carried cigarettes with me and a lighter or some source of fire. But as a non smoker, I no sooner would identify with carrying fire and cigarettes with me. You see, so when you pull up in your consciousness, you will disidentify with carrying your past traumas around with you and reacting from a traumatized place and reacting from a hurt, wounded place. So it's kind of a neat time to go into all of that and think about who would you be? How would you be acting differently if you didn't identify as one who had survived the worst and back. By the way, I'm one of those people too. As you guys know, I've had near death experience. I used to be really sick at one time, but I'm even having to really look at that for myself. So that's a big energy of this month. And so you might very well see breakups. You might see moves. You might think you were going one place, but then totally get redirected into someplace else. You might see a lot of relationships coming back together that you thought were totally in tatters. You might see them actually forming back in again. I've seen a lot of this in the twin flame community where those twin flames are coming back around together to give it one more go, and conversely where they're saying, actually, we're done, we're complete, and let's move on. So lots of freedom energy, really breaking you free from your past constraints, from your past identities. And also this relates to business. So if in business you have had the identity of somebody who just can't make it, or you're struggling through it all, really think about what's the identity that you want going forward. Who are you in your new reality? And write it down and start to feel that every single day. It will help you, I promise. Okay, let's see. The next energy that's up is new or rekindled soul connections. So this is a really fun, juicy one because there are so many people now that are awakened that you guys are starting to form new soul connections. So be on the lookout for this month. There's a really positive Venus transit for many of you that's highlighting love and connection and yumminess and just intimacy in your world. So be on the lookout for that. But at the same time, you want to also be on the lookout for, is this person really in resonance with who I am now? And is this the conscious choice that I'm making? So you might have an excessive amount, if you're single, of options this month. You might have way too many, offers to take you out. And if you're partnered with somebody, you might have a lot of opportunity to rekindle something on a very much of a deeper connection and really feel into that rekindling of that soul connection. So that's something that this month you'll have a lot of opportunity for. And lots of expanded heart openings. There's a big piece of heart opening coming this month. And, it may very well come in the form of new people in your life that might be business partners. They might be friends that you've been calling in, that you've been wanting to align with. It might be a pet or an animal or just some random connection that helps you open your heart even more. Lots and lots and lots of heart opening this month, not just because it's the month of Valentine's Day, but it's because it's the month that is supercharged by Venus. One thing to be on the lookout for this month with that heart opening is sometimes we open our hearts when we notice the places where we're lacking love or the places where we wish we had more love but don't have it. And so if that's you, if you're working with feeling lonely or feeling unloved, you can work on this month really giving yourself the love that you wish you had from somebody else. Buy yourself flowers. I was in workout class the other day, and the instructor, Haley, said, Miley Cyrus did a year's worth of therapy for us in one song, and it's her newest song that's out. But you can buy yourself flowers. You can take yourself out to dinner. You can treat yourself to a bath and a yummy massage and just love yourself up. And it's your opportunity this month, especially, to really go into that self-love and set your intention for even more heart opening, even more heart expansion as you move through the month, because we are all getting more and more connected. And this is really a time when we feel energy first and then we see the physical. For the first time in a very long time, that's really what's present for most of you watching. You feel the energy first and then you look for the physical. So for example, if somebody's talking to you, you're almost not even listening to the words, you're watching and reading the energy. And then you're looking for actions to line up with what they're saying. You're really not listening to what it is that they're saying. You're watching their energetics. So, this is a great time to look at your own energetics and really tune in and see how you are doing with your self-love. To look at where the places and spaces where you can give yourself even more love than you already are. Okay, and then finding perfect health and wellness. So, this is a really interesting energy this month. There's a lot of support here for you to tap into to upgrade your health and wellness. But my suspicion is that many of you have just gone through a significant health and wellness challenge. And I'm seeing this as a multidimensional health and wellness challenge. So there's been a part of you that's been actually clearing out health programs, both for yourself, but also for other multidimensional timelines of you. And so if you can think of it like a stack of pancakes, and you're down here on the bottom and you're drenched in syrup and butter, okay, or maybe vegan butter if that's your thing, and the top of the pancakes is kind of dry in the middle, but you're still all connected. All right, so you're kind of working at healing up parts of yourself from the whole pancake stack, if you will. So maybe some stuff's cropping up right now that you would just rather not deal with. Well, this month is the month to really set your intention to say, no more. I am healing this. I am done with this energy. And then make actions and shifts. Part of this energy with the health and wellness stuff is coming through because it needs us to make different choices in our lifestyle, which will then flip the outer world. So let me give you an example of this. Many people are dealing with post-viral syndrome, long COVID, weird mystery symptoms, maybe Epstein-Barr, maybe shingles, maybe other sort of mystery healing problems, right? And so if that is you, if you're someone who's been dealing with post-flu type stuff, one thing that is now required is that you clean up your environment because it is difficult for viruses to replicate in a cleaned up environment. And that's really phase one. Phase two is detoxification. And then phase three is regeneration, right? But, anyways, so you might be being called to really clean up your diet, eating more plants, eating more fruits and vegetables, eating less things that have been packaged in a plastic box. So, in doing that, you see, cleaning up your own health, you're actually cleaning up the health of the planet. The less you purchase of things of that nature, plastic packaged stuff, pre-made things, the better off your health is, but also it's a downstream effect of the planet as well. And so it seems very difficult to be working on some of these health issues, but I always recommend a particular supplement, and you can't buy it in the stores. It's the supplement that you can just add to your water. And really, it starts with hope and belief. So if you've been in that health struggle, have hope that you can absolutely make it out and have the belief that it's possible. Those two ingredients in your supplement, wink, wink, are paramount. If you don't have hope and if you don't have belief, it is very difficult to overcome anything. So I recommend a little daily dose of hope and belief in whatever beverage you're drinking, and then just sip it on down and know that it is possible for you. The body absolutely can regenerate. And in fact, that's what you're doing right now. You're doing a lot of reprogramming on multi-dimensional levels. And it's not always the easiest to do, but you are in the process of doing it. So good work. Let's see, what else do we need to think about for February? There's a lot of redirection energy this month in general. So if you're not in the place where you're supposed to be, odds are you'll be shown another example of where you could be, or an option for yourself. And what's really cool about that is you can actually take a look at that option and say, okay, what about this option do I really love? And how could I create that for myself, either in my hometown Or is it time to think about a change? Is it time to think about doing something totally on the edge and breaking out of the mold that you've been in? You'll probably see a couple of examples of that. Maybe even without having to travel, you might be on the phone with a service provider and they happen to be um, traveling in Mexico, and you get to talking and they tell you just how easy it was to live in Mexico and save all this money. And, they tell you the story about now they were able to buy this great house in the States because they saved up all this money. And you think, gosh, that's something that I too could do. So you might have opportunities to glean into your future and be given portals of potential and templates. I call them templates of what's actually available to you. And it goes to that infinite possibilities that's really coming in this month, coming in strong to fulfill those soul desires. Okay, so that's been a lot for today. Let's get to our tips and takeaways section here. Again, lots of possibilities and option in love coming through. Lots of possibility if you're single for your true love. And really, it's a time to be really clear on what you are wanting if you are in the dating scene or if you're single. And as it relates to your life, same thing, lots of possibilities, lots of options coming in through the work plane. You're probably getting overwhelmed with offers and projects and all of that. And it's up to you to say, what do I really want to do here? What lights my soul up? And what also is going to compensate me the best for my work? And remember, it's okay to be compensated in a wonderful way for your work. And it's okay to compensate in new ways too. We are working with this fifth dimensional frequency that you might find new ways to receive income. You might find new ways to receive compensation. So really be open to that. And don't be afraid to be a leader in that as well, because you are a light leader, as you well know. And then ask yourself questions this month like, what do I need? What energy can I be in order to truly set myself free? What energy do I need to clear out in order to be complete with that part of me that's been holding me back from where you've wanted to be? So ask yourself those questions. What energy do you need to install in order to truly have freedom in love, in health, and finances? And just sit with that question for a second. What energy do you need to install in order to truly have freedom in health and love and finances? For some of you, that's security, actually holding the feeling of security in and through your body. It is very difficult to create something, especially now on the outside, if you're not able to feel it first. So ask yourself these energetic questions, and remember, they're like little packets of energy that go and help you shift what's on the inside. So definitely go back and give that a listen. Okay, my friends. Well, this has been so fun. Definitely share your light bulb moments and your ahas below. Pop a comment and let me know what's been most pertinent for you or what's been most important for you to hear. I love hearing you share and I love holding the vision for you too. So remember, if you've got a vision that you're holding, feel free to pop it below and I will be seeing you as already having that. If you haven't already, by the way, do get your vibration raising toolkit. There's a link below this video, and you can actually get the toolkit for free. Just use the coupon code 2023 and it makes it free for you. And it's some of my super easy breezy best ways to raise your vibration. I have great practices in there that work really fast and you'll love listening to them. So I hope you like this video. Definitely like it, share it with your friends, share it with somebody who needs to remind themselves that this right now, this year is such a portal of new possibilities. Yes, for some people, it might be a bit of a go of a year, but for you who are watching, you're really going to have a different experience. Back to those kids on the playground, you are on the playground, you've just done enough work that you're going to be the way showers and the space holders and the frequency holders, right? Remember this, if I were to ask you to sing a C sharp, very few people can just belt out a C sharp. But when you have a piano that gives you a C sharp, you can hit that note easily. So you are the piano. You are the one holding the frequency for other people to attune to. So here's to you being a leader in light. I love you so, so much. Thanks for being here with me, and bye for now.